Okay. Good enough. Welcome back to the Bros Park. It's another BEA beautiful day. You're welcome by yours truly, Jeffrey. And
Colin, as always.
today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about DanDaDan.
DanDaDan.
Just jumping right into it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to spoil it. I don't know. It's probably in the title. Dude, it's peak, man. It's good. It's good stuff.
We're not putting that in the title because you reference everything as peak. I'm pretty sure we have soul leveling as peak. This is gonna be DanDaDan as peak.
Minecraft was peak.
I'm surprised it's not Minecraft as peak. But It was good. I watched it more recently than him. He watched it a while ago as it was kind of coming out and around that time.
And then I was like, "Yo, dude, you gotta watch this, man." So we watched the first episode together, and like, not gonna lie, Colin was like,
"This is crazy.
Like, what the fuck is happening?"
This is a wild first episode.
To be honest, the first episode of the whole entire show is probably like the most out there that I've ever seen in an anime. It just goes 0 to 100 super quick.
Out of all the not R-rated anime, it's definitely wild. There's no slow points. It just hits you in the face like a fucking truck for no reason. And I had heard about it before he had brought it up to me because I had heard the GOAT Skara, ex-league pro player and everything like that.
Lovable bear.
Yeah, he said that he was really excited for it. And I was like, oh, interesting. I've never really heard him talk about like something that's coming out that's going to be interesting. So I was like, maybe I'll watch it. And I never got around to it. And then I finally did when he brought it up. He's like, hey, we should watch this. And it came up because he just kept saying, banana,
your
banana, and
banana.
I was like, dude, shut up. He's like, you don't know what that's from? And yeah, that made us watch it.
How would you describe the genre of it? It's like...
It is sci-fi, for sure.
Sci-fi, alien,
that's
spiritual.
Yeah.
It's got, I guess, like, slice of life to it. It's got...
In the Japanese translation, it's a cult.
Comedy.
It is comedy.
A cult.
A cult is the main thing that they kind of like focus on.
Kind of some romance there too, but like the good thing is they don't delve too deep into it, so like it's more like just focus on the comedy and just their interactions.
It's a comedy supernatural for sure.
Yeah. Anyways, it fills a lot of different genres, and I think it does all of them pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I had a tough time initially with the animation style because it is very stylistically different than most popular anime right now.
Yeah, and even with that different change, it's done well.
Yeah,
like,
it's not bad.
It's not bad. It's great, man.
It just takes a moment to kind of get used to it. And animation is a very, very stringent point for me because much to the dismay of a lot of viewers here and fans around the world, that's part of the reason I never got into One Piece.
Oh, really?
I couldn't sit through the first 400 episodes of like 90s animation style.
Oh, I see.
I couldn't do it, and I can't do it to this day.
But if you watch it growing up, that was basically
okay.
That was the format that you had to watch it in.
Exactly.
But now, like, you're kind of like blessed
with the god animation we have.
Too well adjusted to the good stuff.
Exactly.
That's why you gotta just watch it on Netflix 2x speed, man.
I mean, I guess so. So regardless, I think the animation style was cool and it was really well done for what it was, and it was definitely different. But that was part of the reason that I liked it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was expecting it to have a conclusion. And then I got to episode 12, which was the last episode.
Let's save that for the end. Okay. Let's save that for the end.
Okay, we'll save that for the end. That's fine. I'm just saying it didn't end as a season as how I would have expected it going into it, but that's okay.
There's no finale, basically.
Yeah.
All right, let's start off with episode 1. We got introduced to I think the main girl lead, Momo Ayase. I'm just gonna call her Momo.
Yeah, Momo.
Yeah, she breaks up with her boyfriend.
Yeah,
he's like, hey, you're poor and you don't even put out.
Yeah, you either buy shit or you fucking put out.
Hey yo, Sigma. I'm just kidding. Okay, piece of shit.
Yeah,
but the only reason why she likes him is because he looks like her like favorite actor, Ken Takakura. I don't even know who that is, but like she just loves him. He's probably super famous in Japan. But yeah, so she's just chilling with her friends, and they're supporting her. Like, yeah, she probably broke up with her boyfriend.
And she's also, I think she's a gyaru.
Gyaru, so she's what are gyarus anyways?
They're very like heavy makeup and very.
They're kind of like the popular. No, they're not popular girls. It's just more like not very. From a Japanese point of view, they're very blunt and forward. I would say that, right?
And very open and. Usually in the stereotypical terminology, like sexualized and everything like that, more than the like, wholesome, cute girl that you would like bring home. Like it's very heavy makeup and, more sexualized and more out there with their body in clothing rather than the kind of like conservative values that are usually there. Yeah. So, she's a gyaru with her friends.
Yeah. And then she sees freaking the main male lead. We won't say his name yet, but he's
Okarun.
Okarun or something.
Yeah, Okarun.
Yeah, he's basically he just gets bullied all the time. He's just there reading his little space book. Yeah, like people throw shit at him. So
he's a loser.
Yeah, she comes in and she's like, hey, just sits next to him, so they stop like messing with him. And then she's like, oh, no fun at all. He doesn't even say anything to me. Just dips. And he's like, wait a second. Yeah. He like runs after her. You're in love with me. Why else would you even hang out with me?
Yeah. Why would you give me the time of day? I'm just a loser reading alien books. It's like, okay, got it.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I actually like their dynamic a lot. Like their interactions are like really, really wacky, really zany, but at the same time, really wholesome. Yeah,
we'll get to it, but man, their interactions piss me off.
Really?
Really? Not in a wow, I can't watch this. These characters are awful way, but just fucking kiss already.
Hey, chill. All right, it's episode 1, man.
Yeah.
So he believes that there's aliens, and her family is,
specifically her grandma.
Her grandma is a spiritual medium person,
spirit
medium. So she believes in ghosts, and they're like, psh. The other one doesn't even exist.
Yeah, right? They don't believe in each other's.
Yeah. So they go out on like, I don't know, like a dare or something. He goes out to like the a haunted tunnel, and she goes into like a haunted hospital to see if
that's known for alien abductions specifically.
So then I guess we'll go with the guy first. He's in the tunnel, and then
they're on the phone this whole time, by the way.
On the phone, just talking, and then they're getting to know each other. It's pretty cute. And then basically, he's on the phone. He turns around, boom. Freaking
Turbo Baba.
It's a freaking very popular ghost that's online, and she's super strong too.
And she always challenges you to a foot race, and she's really egotistical and cocky about it. Yeah. So if you beat her, then you're fine. You get away free. But if you lose the foot race, she like consumes you. Yeah. As soon
as you start running away, she'll like race after you.
Yeah. And what does she say? What does she want?
It's like, let me bite your weenie
off. Let me get your weenie. You want to suckle these teats?
Yeah. I was like, what the hell?
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah, but it cuts off when she's like right about to catch him, and we cut to Momo's side, and
she's freaking out on the phone because she hears is him screaming.
And then afterwards, as soon as you see that, she's freaking out. She turns around, boom, there's these 3 guys, creepy looking guys.
Yeah.
It's like the square face with a weird smile, and she gets abducted. By aliens.
So go figure.
Ghosts and aliens exist in this world. And then they basically, I don't know why they decided to make it super sexualized, but there's no need for it. But these aliens, they're Serpians or something.
Yeah, Serpians.
Yeah, they only exist by cloning each other.
So they don't have sexual reproduction.
So they're trying to harvest human reproductive organs.
Yeah. The banana.
And what they say is the banana.
That's why they want their banana.
Yeah, so then they try and basically take hers, but she gets a phone call, and it's freaking Okarun. They pick up the smartphone. They're like, what the hell? Why is this? I'm like, hello? Yeah. And then freaking out pops a cursed Okarun.
But it looks like Turbo Baba.
Okarun. Yeah. Yeah. He's like basically masked up and everything.
The long hair from Turbo
Yeah,
Granny.
He's going crazy. Yeah. He just like bites all their wieners off.
Yeah, he goes crazy. He's like, give me that weenie.
Like, imagine if like nobody who was watching this and they haven't seen DanDaDan, like, he just bites their wieners off and throws them against walls. Yeah. Like,
but they're robot weenies because they don't have regular weenies.
They're like, what's going on? Yeah, so these aliens are basically robotic too, and then he saves her, and then at the same time, Momo's innate power,
her psychic
powers awakened
that she probably got from her grandma as a spirit medium.
So now she's psychic, and Okarun's cursed with like this ghost power, and they basically escape from the aliens,
the spaceship,
in a UFO, and it crashes to a highway, and then as they come out of the UFO, she's like, I don't even know this guy's name. What's your name? And then cuts to Ken Takakura,
and she has that like steam and the like, and it like blows up in her mind, and then she like faints.
That's basically her kryptonite. Any guy who's called Ken Takakura or like acts like him, because he says
the same thing. He was like, "Oh, I'm just an awkward fellow."
Dude, that like she just shuts down.
Specifically, every single time anybody says Ken Takakura, or like he says his name is like Ken Takakura, or says the line, "I'm just an awkward fellow," she like freezes up. She like shuts down mentally,
explode.
Like fucking blushes, body down to the ground, and like shuts down. So and that was season 1 or episode 1.
That's all episode 1. Like it's like there's a lot going on, but like
it's wild.
At the same time, like it's done really well.
It is done well. You know what? It grabs the audience. So I'll give you that.
Holy crap! I guess. And then episode 2 kind of follows up from that.
It explains things a bit.
It explains a little bit more. You know, they start bickering back and forth, and they go back to her place.
Well, specifically, they realize that her powers are the only thing that's stopping Ken or Okarun from transforming into the cursed Turbo Granny, right?
Holding back the powers basically from overtaking him.
She has to constantly be like this to like hold back the powers, but then that becomes the meme most of the time where he's like, I'm just an awkward fellow, and she like passes out, so she stops like holding back the powers, and then he starts changing. And he's like, oh my god, like please, like
it's
save
so
me.
funny.
And then she's constantly like, you're not allowed to say that. You can't say your name. Like all these things.
We're gonna call you Ocarina. For like occult or something.
Occult.
Yeah, and they basically end up going back to her place. The shrine. He tries to enter it, and he just bursts into flame because there's a protective seal on it. He's like, oh shit, and she takes off so he can enter. Dumbass move, anyways. Never, if you ever have protective stuff, never take it down.
Never have protective talismans that you then remove, right? So they go in, and he bursts into flames. They take down the talisman, and then after a certain while, everything just like blacks out. No sun, no nothing. And they go outside, and they realize that they're like boxed inside the house. And there's all of a sudden like a giant sumo wrestler.
Giant sumo wrestler
there. And she explained that like, oh, it's an evil spirit because their house has 2 doorbells, and the one that she's never heard is for bad spirits, and she's never heard this one, so obviously it's a bad spirit. And then he's like, wait a second, that's a fucking alien. And she's like, no, it's a fucking spirit. And he's like, who gives a shit?
It's a giant ass like
sumo
10-story tall sumo wrestler.
Yeah, and he's like, I finally found you. And then they fight each other, and Momo is just trying to get the protective talisman back up. And then getting Okarun out of the area so he doesn't burst into flame again. And I guess like the only way out, because they're boxed in, is Momo baits the sumo wrestler to like throw her against the wall outside of what I'll call like the arena, their house lot, and just lets the sumo wrestler just like wail on her because that's dug enough of a hole.
That's what I realized. Like, dude, the people in this anime are like built different. How do you like? This is a like giant 10-story tall sumo wrestler just like punching her into a wall. And then she's like not even bleeding. She's like, oh god, it hurts.
She's like, this was enough depth. And he was like, what? And it's like enough depth to be outside of the arena, and then slaps the talisman back on. And then everything's fine.
And the cool thing during this fight is that if she can control the power that Orkan can use from Turbo Granny to the point where like he transforms into this like
his own thing.
Into like this badass white hair, glasses, like demon looking thing.
He looks sick.
He looks so cool. Sick. He looks so cool.
But also,
I want that style, man. But he's so depressed.
When he transforms, he looks super cool. But all the time, he's like, this makes me wither.
Yeah. Oh God, my life
should have stayed home. Like he's actually just depressed.
Yeah.
But then I guess he's also in love with Momo, like that thing, because he always constantly protects her.
Yeah.
When he's in like the cursed form. Mm-hmm. And I think he learns that he can. Is it this episode or maybe the next that he learns?
Episode. Yeah, the next episode. This episode, they beat the sumo wrestler, and then, because she took all those sumo wrestler punches into a wall, she basically passes out, and like Okran is like, "Oh shit!" and then just starts
turning into Turbo Granny.
Forming.
Yeah,
it's like, "Oh God!" and then it cuts.
Then
next episode,
a gilf shows up.
The gilf.
The gilf. And the gilf is Momo's grandmother, the spirit medium.
Yeah, there's no way that she looks like that good.
she looks like she should be like 30.
Yeah,
like that's the whole joke of it. But she shows up and she's like, wow, this guy's freaking out and turning into a fucking cursed ghost in front of me. I'm going to like put a barrier around him.
Yeah. And that's her thing. That's her power. She just creates barriers.
Yeah. And it actually opens with her intro being, she's on like a talk show and she's like, oh yeah, this actor that I'm next to, this like idol, is 28, married, has a kid on the way, or like, sorry, already has a kid, and his favorite food is ramen.
Yeah.
And the idol's like,
wrong.
Oh, wrong. I'm actually 22. I'm single. I don't have a kid. And my favorite food is actually curry. And everybody dismissed her as like a quack, right? Because she couldn't even like see what he was saying, like what he was realistically. And that's how they opened.
Yeah.
So you just kind of think that she's like a fake, but like she shows up and puts fucking legit barriers down.
And it's basically Granny versus Granny.
Yes.
When you think about it,
is Granny versus Granny, and they call each other old hags.
Yeah, it's so freaking cool too. Yeah. Because like the Turbo Granny's like super quick, so she basically just like blindsides her, goes behind the back and tries to hit her. But our Granny, I think her name's Seiko or something.
Sure.
She had already erected a barrier there, and then basically, ooh, you fell into my trap card barrier.
You've activated my trap card.
And all she has is like a bat and like and that bat has a pencil that marks the ground. So all she does is just freaking wail on this cursed spirit with a bat, pushing it into a closer barrier.
Yeah. And she basically just says, man, my granddaughter always brings home like the shittiest thing.
Yeah.
And is basically about to kill Turbo Granny and Okarun. And then fade to black. Boom. Nothing.
Yeah.
And then we wake up with Momo, and Momo's up and,
freaking out, basically.
Yeah, freaking out, basically saying, Grandma, did you kill Okarun? Like, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, yeah, no, I fucking killed him. Like, he's fucking dead, right? And when she's freaking out, being like, I'll never forgive you, blah, 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 all these things. She's like, yeah, whatever. Like, go fucking check the shrine if you really want to fucking see it. And she's freaking out because at this point, I would say that they're good friends, even though it's only been like 2 episodes.
They basically drag each other into a situation. So and she feels responsible.
Exactly. And she goes straight to the shrine that they have on like the house and is like crying, basically, being like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And like swings the door open. And it's just Okarun not in his granny form. He's just like in his shy, like awkward fellow form. And he's just like eating an onigiri or something. He's like, oh, hello. It's like, okay, great. We fucking were told you were dead.
Yeah, and then after that, fast forward, it's basically them explaining to the Grammy what happens. And she's like, there's no such thing as aliens. What the hell are you guys talking about?
Yeah, there's ghosts, obviously.
There's ghosts, but no aliens.
That's stupid.
What are you guys, idiots? Yeah, and she's basically like, yeah, you guys got to train. You guys got to be stronger.
Yeah, I can't take on Turbo Granny because she's outside of my city limits, basically, my jurisdiction.
Yeah, she's in different, like, regions, so then she draws her powers from her own region.
Yeah.
But she's outside, so, like, Momo has to train her powers, and Okarun, to better control his powers, he just needs to work out.
He just needs to work out. She literally gives him the Saitama or the solo leveling.
Like 100 push-ups, 100 squats.
Okay, great. Like
100 back extensions.
Yeah.
So funny.
Bad.
And then whatchamacallit, freaking Okarun needs to go to the washroom, right?
Yeah, he needs to pee.
Dude, I thought that scene was so funny. He's like, oh shit, I gotta go. He's like, fucking screwed. Runs in the washroom, and like Momo has to chase after him because she has to control him.
Yeah.
And then Grandma's like, I want to see this.
Yeah, he was like, I want to see that weenie.
Yeah, they all chase each other.
And they realized that the reason why Okarun is still cursed is because Turbo Granny stole his weenie and his balls. Like, just this whole general region of his body doesn't exist anymore. It's gone, right? So firstly, how does he pee? Secondly, Momo has to keep an eye on him. And then, not Turbo Granny, the Momo's grandmother is like, I gotta see how this works.
Yeah, this is all cool.
He's just like crying and shitting like on the toilet while they're watching him.
And the funny thing is, like, when he's shitting, that's when Turbo Granny like strikes, basically.
Yeah.
Basically, she like pauses time or something, and Momo can only see her. She's like, "Hey, yo, man, I'm not even gonna give you guys time to like get stronger. Meet me here." Or everybody else.
Everybody else will die. Everyone I'm looking at, I can curse. So like
hey yo, screw this. Yeah. I like she did that. Like, she didn't even give like the antagonist didn't give the protagonist time to like, you know.
No, it wasn't like some weird monologue or something. It was just like, yeah, show up tonight.
Yeah, it's like, screw this, man. I'm gonna kill you guys if you don't freaking come over tonight.
If you don't come over tonight, yeah, come chill, dude. But so all of a sudden the training montage doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And then they get dressed as like a shrine priest and shrine priestess by like the grandmother and was like, oh, these will protect you, so go.
Yeah, get out of here, scram.
And then they take the train. And then again, this goes into the whole Gyaru thing. She like takes off the shrine priestess outfit and like puts on just like a skirt and a fucking zip up or something. It's like, this is the Gyaru like fashion call. I can't do my best work unless I feel
this is my
like
armor
fashionable. It's like, okay, great.
What I did like is that, like, instead of, you know, them getting strong and everything, it just jumps right into the action. It's like, hey, you guys got to fight her now. Like,
I think the next episode was literally just them fighting.
And the good thing is,
Turbo
like,
Granny.
from a story point of view, it just makes sense.
Yep, 100%.
Right? It's like, hey, screw this. You guys got to come over. You're done.
It was the natural progression, and that was it.
Yeah, like, everything, like, even though this, like, story is just all over the place and wacky, everything, like, makes sense.
I could follow it. That's the main thing, like, is like it didn't feel out of place.
Yeah, like the plot is actually like pretty tight.
But I do think that comes from it being crazy from episode 1. That you're like, you know what? Yeah, this makes sense. It's all crazy. It's all insane.
Things just don't happen for the sake of things happening. Things just happen because like it's the natural progression of things.
100%. So I think the next episode they just fight Turbo Granny.
Yeah, they go back into the tunnel to confront Turbo Granny
and get his weenie back.
Yeah, get the weenie back. Yeah. Get the weenie back. So then, like, basically they're just getting dogged on by Turbo Granny.
Yeah, until Momo is basically like, "Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm supposed to challenge her to a fucking race because like that's what she." Yeah. Turbo Granny, and
because she's so egotistical, she's so like, you know,
she'll always accept the challenge.
Yeah,
and she got the name Turbo Granny because she runs at a constant speed of 100 kilometers an hour.
Oh, God damn.
Which is fucking insane. And she accepts a challenge, obviously. But while they're getting dogged as well, throwback to the first episode where she's like, you want to suckle these teats? Yeah. And Okarun changes into his depressed form and he's like, yeah, actually, fucking take this. I'll suckle those teats. And like just goes and bites her chest. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, all right.
So her challenge after all that is to play tag.
Play tag, yeah.
Yeah. If you can catch us, you win, and then you can like kill us, or if we win, then you know, I don't even know what happens if they won.
So basically the idea that we found out is that Turbo Granny is strong, yes, but Turbo Granny is also merged with another spirit that's made her even stronger. So the point of challenging her to a race or tag is to try to get her away from this other spirit that's merged because it's locked to a specific location, the tunnel. And if they get it far enough away, then it's just Turbo Granny, and they should be able to defeat Turbo Granny. So that's their goal in trying to do it. Turbo's Granny goal is just to finish killing them.
Yeah, she's like, screw this. I'm all powerful. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah. So that's kind of the stakes of this race.
Yeah. So they start racing. They get like an hour, like a 10-minute head start.
No.
But the thing is, they didn't specify like, hey,
how they count.
How do you count for 10 minutes? So she's like, all right, 1 minute.
2. And then she's like 40, 50, 72. 6 minutes, and it's like, what are you counting?
It's like shit. But then, like, you know, less than 10 minutes, so they just freaking book it.
I think it's 30 seconds.
And the cool thing is, since Okarun is wearing his protective garb, he can still access the power of Turbo Granny, or like she can't do anything to him. Oh, you know what? Actually, they do.
suckle these teats.
Yeah, I forgot because he bit her. Like he suckled her teats. She's like, oh fuck! Like I can't do anything because he's wearing his protective garb. You know what we do? I'm gonna possess this guy.
Yeah.
And as soon as she possesses him, Momo like kind of captures her inside his garb or inside Okarin, so he can use her powers again.
Because it's physically her this time, not the curse that she's placed on him.
Yeah.
So now she's actually inside of Okarin.
Yeah.
And Momo's keeping her in there.
Yeah. So they start to like, okay, awesome, we have her. Let's run to like the exit of her region, so she's a little bit weaker. Yeah. As they run, bam. Giant crab,
and the crab is the location locked spirit that she's merged with, and now
that they're working together. So
my favorite part about that is we know Turbo Granny, we know Turbo Baba, right? Whatever, and we know that she's like merged with this giant crab, the location locked spirit, to become stronger. Turbo Granny doesn't even use a name. She's just like, "Hey, literally location locked spirit." Come save me. Like in the subtitle, it's just location locked spirit. Come save me. It's like you couldn't have given it a name. Like you're merged with this spirit. Yeah. And she's like, no.
They're not merged yet.
They were merged. That's when they got separated.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why.
Oh, okay. No. Fair enough.
So,
and then out comes a chase scene of like them getting chased by a giant crab.
Like fucking 3 stories tall. Like.
So now there's basically Momo, I say, is on Okarin, who's in his cursed form
and holding Turbo Granny, which is turned into like a little snake thing that's coming out the back of
they're piggyback running away from a giant crab. Like just think about that. Like just saying that out loud is just so weird, but it makes sense.
It makes sense. And Okarun has the ability to go full throttle, but is only strong enough to like really do it once or twice. And it basically just means like Super Saiyan, like super speed for fucking so 5 seconds, right?
And the chasing is so well done. It's so cool.
It's so good. And it gets to a point that they kind of start getting cornered. And they get cornered because Turbo Baba's like, oh yeah, I actually recruited like the cemetery over here.
Like, hey, I got some spirits, other spirits help. And they freaking like got all the corpses and just start chasing them. Like, so they're getting chased by zombies and a crab.
Until they finally defeat the crab. And how did they defeat the crab?
They brought it to like an onsen basically, and like got all the pipes to like lock on and like just hot water this crab so it boils the crab.
They just cooked the crab. They made a fucking crab soup.
Yeah, but at the same time, it doesn't really kill the crab. So the crab comes back, and whatchamacallit? I think it's when they're getting chased. The music number for it. Do you remember it? It's like dun, 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 dun. That shit was so cool because they remixed such a like a iconic, race.
Yeah, like a classic tune. Like tune.
Dude, I thought that was so badass, dude.
That chase scene was probably the most hype.
It was
of everything.
So cool,
and it was probably the best action sequence too. I think it was either that or one of the acrobat later. But and then the only way they actually get away is. Momo's powers have manifested, and basically she has like spirit hands. That's the only way I can word it. Is like she can reach out and grab things and touch things and like contain things in these hands that like nobody can see. It's like her psychic.
She can conjure invisible hands, basically.
Yeah, and they're about to die. Obviously, it's the moment before Ebola, and she just like sees a train go by.
Yeah,
and she like. Just latches on and grabs it with her spirit hand, and they get sucked away to it.
Yeah, and at this point, the Turbo Granny and the crab actually merge into one being.
Yes, they've gone back to being like the full-sized giant thing.
Creepy looking too.
And they hop on the train because the train's top speed is 120 kilometers per hour, and it gets into this fucking numbers game that we hate sometimes, but. Mom was like, oh, the train, you'll never catch us, Turbo Granny. Like, oh, this train's top speed is 120. And then Turbo Granny's like, yeah, but you forget the trains have to slow down for corners below 100 kilometers an hour. And I have a consistent speed of 100 kilometers an hour, so I'll catch you.
It makes sense. And then they catch up. I'm like,
yeah, they do, but fucking come on.
No, I thought that was awesome. So they're on the top of the trains. She gets on top of the train and then right about to deal like the finishing blow because like Okarin's like tapped out of commission. He's done.
Yeah, he can't transform anymore. He's got no weenie, like fucking everything,
because the train's going, and like I guess like Turbo Granny didn't like take into account like I'm on a train right now,
like how fast they're going,
and basically, they're leaving the region, and at the end of the region, there is our grandma Seiko. She's already erected a barrier.
Mm-hmm.
It's so badass. So basically, the train comes along here, and Momo just grabs a crab, can't go anywhere, keeps on the train, and once it leaves the area, it gets demolished. Like it burns through the barrier.
Yeah,
it was so cool.
Yeah, and that finally separated the crab and Turbo Granny too.
So basically, the crab and Turbo Granny are now dead.
Yeah, and they're gone.
Yeah,
and great. That means that Okarun gets his weenie back, right?
Hell yeah, dude.
And everybody's happy and fantastic. And then we find out that he got his weenie back, but there's something that kind of latched on to his like spirit or his aura like during this fight. And it's like a dark thing. And, you know, we're kind of like, okay, well, there's only a few things it could be at this point.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point that it only shows up when he's being like assaulted. So our grandma winds up and just smacks him in the face with a fan, if I remember correctly. And in that moment, when the aura shifts away from like his aura or whatever, Momo's supposed to like use her spirit hands to like separate the two auras and grab the bad one out. And she does. And then it gets into one of those like, what do you like, the good luck cats,
the little cat little
things. The cats that like do like the like good luck fortunes. And of course it's fucking Turbo Granny.
Yeah, Turbo Granny's still alive.
Yeah,
like in the last second she's like, screw this, goes into Okarun's body and wants to bide her time, so like when she recovers her strength can just kill everybody again.
Yeah, but no, she's now in one of those like
now she's a cute plushy cat. I'm like, dude, this is so funny.
Yeah. And I think a few days go by as well.
Yeah. And you know what I like? After every battle, there's a recurring theme that happens. They have dinner.
They do have dinner.
They just eat, and they eat whatever is associated with like the battle.
Yes.
So like they just fought a giant crab. So like their dinner was like, oh, we'll just order a bunch of crab and just eat it.
Yep. And after dinner, a few days go by, and there's a couple of not episodes, but I guess like maybe an episode there fully of like more of the slice of life romance side of it.
School. Like these guys are students. They got school.
So they go to school, and it's kind of like we want to hang out in like during lunch because, you know, Akarun's a loser and like she's cool and like maybe she won't want to hang out with him, but she really wants to, but like wants him to initiate it. And like, that's what I mean by the interactions that I'm like, God, it pisses me off.
It's kind of like, you know, your typical like, oh, like we want to hang out, but we keep missing each other. And like, you know, they're starting to become really good friends. Like there's romantic interest, but you know, it just misses out.
Yeah.
But you know what I like about that? Whenever that happens in this show, it kind of gets dealt with like within the episode. Like usually like if there's any other anime, it'd be like, oh, multiple episodes discussing this. Because what I read this online is that like the person who like made the story, his editor made him, the author, basically read a bunch of like romance animes, mangas, and all that. Yeah. So like he kind of has a grasp on how like, you know, romantic interactions work. Yeah. So that's why I think like they do the romantic interactions, like if there's any misunderstandings, they do it really well because it gets resolved right away in like a natural way too.
I get it, and I can see where you're coming from. I think it does get resolved, but the piss off for me is that the next episode or 2 episodes later, more or less the same problem happens again. So like it got resolved.
Hey man, that's life, man.
But like fucking, dude, she doesn't really want to hang out with me. Okay, yeah, 100%. It gets resolved. She's like, I really want to hang out with you. That's a fantastic resolution. I appreciate that. 2 episodes later, she like doesn't say hi to him or something, and he's like, she hates me and doesn't want to hang out with me again. It's like, dude, we just resolved this. Like we fucking like we got
the guy's a loser. He has like anxiety over that.
And she's like the whole like, oh, he has to do everything. And I'm like, also like, dude, like you want to hang out with him, go tell him that as well. Like just anyways,
for school we realized Okarun's missing something.
Yeah, like 3 days later or 2 days later or something.
Even after like, Turbo Baba is now in the cat, he's like,
and he returned his weenie. He's got his weenie back.
He's like, oh, dude, I'm missing my balls, man.
He goes to the washroom and he's like, oh shit. He's missing both testicles. It's like, okay. And he goes over back to Momo's place later and with the grandma again. And grandma's like, show me. Like, show me why you got no balls. Come on. And Momo's like, dude, it's been 2 days. Like, how did you not realize this? He's like, I just was so excited, and like then like I saw my
it's too big. The shaft is too big to see, man.
Like, oh, dude, I couldn't see past it. It's like fuck.
Yeah, so we learned from Turbo Granny that like, hey, before she went
into Okarun,
got destroyed. She went to Okarun, and then like through that, like her powers went into his balls or something.
Yeah.
And now they're in the shape of like 2 gold balls.
Yeah, golden, like the golden snitch from Harry Potter. But like,
so there's 2 golden balls that are his testicles out there.
Yeah, with all the spirit power.
With all the spirit power.
So him or his fucking.
So it's gonna attract a bunch of these ghosts, or if it's picked up, then
it'll allow that person to awaken their spirit powers.
Yeah. So then basically, what happens next is that Okarun. Mm-hmm. As all this misunderstandings happening between him and Momo
about will they, won't they, do they like each other, blah, 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 blah.
He bumps into this the cutest, the prettiest girl in the school. I think her name's Ira. She's got pink hair.
Ira,
yeah. And we were like, oh, it's cute. And she's interacting with Okarun, but it turns out, and Okarun's like, he's like shy beta boy. He's like, oh my god,
he's just an awkward fellow.
So then we learned that this pretty girl, she's like, oh yeah, that loser. That's probably the highlight of his life. Like he gets to talk with the prettiest girl at school. Mm-hmm. What a loser.
She just dogs on him behind his back, and Momo sees it, and Momo hears it, and that's what I mean by the resolution. The resolution's there, but like this was part of the resolution is that Momo gets jealous. She sees this, gets jealous, and fucking then sees that she's being a bitch behind Okarun's back, and like hits her in the head with a wash bucket. With her spirit hand, somebody knows it's her, and then goes up and like links arms with Okarun, and then just basically throws shade at Ira. And as they walk away, and it's like that was the resolution to them being like, but like issues between the two of them. But regardless, Ira then we notice and we find and we see.
Speaking of which, let's talk about Ira first. She's I love her character.
Dude, I fucking hate her character.
Dude, I love it when she's like, I'm the prettiest girl ever. Yeah. Like, God gave me powers.
She's like, literally like I've been sent as a gift.
I'm a God sent
to
be a gift for everybody. I love people like that.
I hate her so much. Funny. And she's also stupid. She's just stupid as shit. She just thinks she's a godsend. And like, all right, whatever.
Okay, carry on.
But yes, we find out as now they're looking for his testicles that like somebody has found the testicles because they're not where Turbo Granny left them.
Yeah.
Turns out when they were on the train chase and they lost the fucking testicles, one smacked Ira in the fucking dome.
It just fell on her in the head.
And she's like, oh, what is that? Boom. Golden ball must be God sending me a message that I'm the chosen one. Okay, great. And then since she's grabbed that, like we said, it awakened her spirit powers, and now she can see ghosts all of a sudden.
Yep.
And because of that, she can see Momo's spirit hands.
So she kind of sees, after she gets dogged on by the wash bin, she sees these hands flow into Momo. So she's like, wait a second. No one else can see these hands, but I can. So I have the special powers.
Yeah.
And she's like, wait a second. If she just did this to me, Momo, I say, she's a demon. She's a demon.
And before this, she was also like, I think this happened. I think the wash bucket happened and she was out trying to figure out how to get back against Momo when she got hit by the testicle because she knew that Momo kind of did it, but she didn't know how. So instead, she just spread the rumor that Momo was a slut.
Yeah.
Like, that's all she did is she texted everybody and was like, yeah, she'll sleep with anybody. It's like, okay, fucking. And Momo was like, meh.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
Like, whatever. But Okarun was like, I will kill anybody that repeats that.
Dude. He gets super defensive.
Heated.
Yeah, dude. That's so that he's him. Yeah. He's him.
So Ira then becomes God's chosen pretty spirit warrior.
Yeah, she's like, I'm a religious warrior against demons now.
So she like convinces her friends to like drag Momo out to this warehouse because she thinks Momo's a demon.
Yeah, but before that, she gets her friends like, hey, yo, give me a cross, give me a book, give me a Bible and everything. She's like, yo, Momo, she's a demon. I can see her familiar out there.
Yeah.
And it's
a woman in like a red dress or something.
Yeah, a woman in a red dress just standing in the field, and she's like, that person's getting closer, man.
Yeah, that must be Momo's familiar.
Yeah.
So they bring Momo to this like abandoned warehouse barn type situation, and they like handcuff, like zip tie her, and she just like basically throws her on the ground, and Ira's like straddling on top of her with the cross, which is just a lighter, by the way.
Yeah.
And just is hitting her in the head.
He's like, that's not doing it.
Yeah, the power of Christ compels you.
Grabs the gold ball.
Yeah.
And just starts smacking in her face. So she's
actually was like, no.
she's literally just smacking Okarun's balls into Momo's face. I'm like, that is so fucking funny.
Yeah. And Momo's like, don't do that.
It's like, this is so gross. What the fuck? So fucking hilarious.
And then while this is happening, Okarun is chilling with Turbo Granny, who's like, oh yeah, she's the one that's like the fucking weird one that has the ball.
She's got the ball, man. You gotta follow her.
So they follow the girls, and then all of a sudden, Momo's familiar, the woman in the red dress, appears. And it's not a familiar. It's just another giant spirit.
Yeah.
It's Acrobatic Silky.
Acrobatic Silky, yeah.
Yeah. So Acrobatic Silky is like this giant, almost like
dancer, basically.
But like she looks like the
she looks like
traditional skulls from like
Mexican
Dia de la Muerte.
Yeah.
The Day of the Dead.
Yeah. This is what the woman makeup as.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that in a red dress with a red hat.
But she's an acrobatic dancer. She's almost like a ballerina.
And like she's obsessed with Ira.
Because she's so pretty.
Yeah. No, she's like, oh, you can finally see me? I've been waiting years. I've been waiting 10 years for you to finally see me, and you can finally see me.
And you find out through... They then continue the fight, but you find out through the fight.
But to be honest, the fight scene was so sick too.
The fight was cool. It was a lot of the spirit hands, and then not just that. Acrobatic Silky also does like dancer moves, but also hair.
Yeah, her hair can be used
as like ropes. Almost.
Yeah, but like the way that it was animated, like along the scene, she's like crawling on the rooftop with her hair. I'm like, yo, this shit.
It was like Grudge. The Ring.
Yeah, this shit looks cool.
But you find out through the fight that basically Acrobatic Silky was a spirit that. Oh, actually, as we're touching on that, we find out a little bit about each of these spirits when we kind of like go into them. Mm-hmm. So first of all, we find out that Turbo Granny was a spirit that was actually doing good for a certain point of time. I forgot about that, yeah. She basically would...
She would tend to the souls of girls who got like sexually assaulted and murdered.
Yeah.
So I was like, she was doing good. She was doing good work.
And she would more or less defend their kind of resting places. And it was almost as if she was haunting these places so that those things wouldn't happen there anymore.
Yeah.
Because she would only haunt the places that happened quite a bit at, but it almost like warded that from happening again because nobody wanted to go there. So she was doing good, but at the same time, Momo's grandma was very much like spirits fucking with humans, even in this form where she's doing good to a certain degree is wrong. So like it was kind of that moral balance between the two.
And you know what's crazy? Because we learned that bit, like she'll defend people, like girls who are like, at like
going through SA
and all that shit.
Yeah.
It actually is a callback to the first episode.
Yep.
Because Momo was about to get her reproductive organs harvested. Mm-hmm. And then that's why Turbo Granny kind of comes through the phone and rescues her. So it was a good tie-in. I'm like, oh shit, that's
100%. It made sense.
Yeah, it made sense. Like everything makes sense.
And it gave you it was good because it gave you this sense of like, oh fuck, like towards Turbo Granny.
Yeah, Turbo Granny's like
want
a
her
top.
to be like
She's
doing
a top
fine.
G, man.
It's like, okay, great. Not top G. Shut the fuck. That's the worst person that you could have related that to, because it's the opposite.
She's a G. Okay? She's a G.
Fuck, dude. So with Turbo Granny, that's what that story was. But now the story of the acrobatic Silky was, she was a mother, and she seemingly alluded to her having to go and do sex work to basically make ends meet to raise her daughter.
Yeah, single mother doing whatever she can to raise her daughter and give her daughter like the best life that she can.
And
dude,
she did.
I'm not gonna lie, man. That shit was sad.
It was sad, 100%. So
she's doing like odd jobs. She's
a janitor.
She's selling her body
and selling body.
Yeah. So we spent like the whole almost episode with that, and it's like the way that like the animation was, like, it just showed you like you didn't even need to like hear anything. Through visually, you just understood the whole meaning and story behind it,
and her whole like life trajectory.
Yeah,
and it was so contrasted to her life with her daughter, because whenever she was with her daughter, they were smiling, they were dancing, they were laughing. And that was the reason that she got into dancing, is because her daughter wanted to dance. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I guess it seemed like it was alluding to some of the customers that she had through the sex work side of things.
Dude, I thought she borrowed money and they were trying to get it back from her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. Because the thing, they didn't tell us.
They didn't really say anything. But I read it as, customers in that way, or, Jeffrey read it as borrowed money and, loan sharks.
So basically these guys like came into her place, beat her up basically.
And trashed her.
Took her money and took her daughter. Oh, man, the dog was so cute too.
And with that being the case, she then...
It was gruesome too. Like they punched her, they kicked her through like a glass door. Yeah. They kicked her eyes too. So her eyes were like done, and like you could see like glass entering her skin. I'm like, oh god, it's so gross.
Yeah. She chased after them outside, and she was struck down by a car.
Yeah, you see the POV like of her like just running through the rain after them. I was like, whoa, damn, bro.
And then she gets hit by a car and she passes away, but her spirit continues to like live on, because she had obviously regret.
She's trying to like look for her daughter, and then like when she's a spirit and passed on, you see like little Ira, like this is the backstory. She's like, "Are you my mom?"
Yeah, right? Because it seems like Ira as a child, like whatever, 5 or 6 or something.
Yeah, could see the spirit
of this woman,
and then like you see from like through that backstory that like Ira's mom passed away, and it's just her and her dad. Dad's like, no, like mom's not here. She's gone away.
With me. Like
mom's gone for a very long time.
Yeah.
And then you see like her mom pass away. But then because of that, the spirit was like, I've lost something. I don't know what it is. And then
I've lost my daughter.
And then when Iris is like, are you my mom? She's like, it's my daughter that I lost. And then for some reason, somehow her daughter's gone. But then in her daughter's place, she's put Ira in her place.
Yeah, she's remembered everything as Ira, basically, as this child.
Yeah, so now that's why she's been like basically stalking the pink-haired Ira girl this whole time. And now that Ira can see her, that means the spirit can like interact with Ira now. And that's why she's going after Ira. She's like, I need my daughter back.
Which is all a horrendous backstory and very sad. Especially for a show that we're talking about golden testicles being spiritual powers, and
just right before that, she was using someone's testicles to hit someone's face with it.
Yeah, the contrast is just insane.
But it was like that, dude.
The storytelling,
dude. The music number in it was so good, dude. I fucking cried, man. Yeah, I cried during that. I was like, dude. Yeah. And I remember like on like because I go on Reddit a few times. That was like voted like the best scene in all of anime, like for that year. I was like,
it was good. 100%.
So I was like, oh shit. I'm like, oh god, it's so good.
But as this is going on, the acrobatic Silky spirit basically says like, oh, we should be together forever, like Ira, and then ends up killing her.
That she just eats her.
Yeah,
that's how like we'll be together forever. Eats her.
And they're supposed to like join as one, blah, 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 but basically it just turns out that she's killed her. Fight continues a little bit, and then it gets to the point that acrobatic Silky's spirit has been defeated, but Ira's dead body is
she like regurgitates her, and then now Ocarina just headbutted her and just defeats her,
and she's fading away, and she says, and they're trying to revive Ira, but acrobatic Silky and Turbo Granny's like, hey, this is basically a battery with no energy. That's it. It's like there's nothing you can do.
Mm-hmm.
But Acrobatic Silky says, well, I'll attach some of my aura, my spirit, to her, and it should revitalize the rest of her energy. Can we do that? Will you allow me to kind of sacrifice myself? I'm already doing that. And it works, and it's great, and it's fantastic. And then it turns out that because Acrobatic Silky had regrets in her lifetime, she'll never find peace.
Yeah, she'll just be in the void forever.
Then Ira looks at her and basically just says, like, thank you, Mom.
Yeah. Like, that shit was so good.
Yeah,
and
she acknowledges it.
She's able to move on.
And she's able to pass on peacefully.
Yeah, it's kind of like a character turn for Ira, too. Like, because, like, she's been, like, this ditzy like, hey, it's all, yeah. And then, like, she's got, like, that moment of character. I'm like, oh, that's so nice.
And Okarun has one testicle now.
Yep, he gets the testicle back.
We're back to one testicle.
And then after all that, they all go back to the shrine, and they're eating, like, so many noodles.
Yep.
Which are basically tying into, like, Acrobatic Silky's hair.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's what the fuck? And then, unfortunately, Ira is still under the belief that Momo is a demon still, who is in control of Okarun now.
Yeah.
Because she saw Okarun in his cursed form.
Yep.
So she's like, okay. Momo's the demon.
Controlling Okarun.
Controlling Okarun and controlling her grandma.
Yep.
And I love those scene where, like, they're eating, and I was like, this doesn't make sense. How does Okarun have powers? You're a demon. What doesn't make the most sense is she's not your grandma. and then the Seiko, the grandma's like, what is this? And then she's like, she's too young, she's too beautiful, she's too pretty to be your grandma.
Yeah,
and then
she's
the
like,
grandma,
you can stay.
And the grandma's like, she's absolutely right. I love this girl. Yep. My granddaughter's a demon. Yep. Go try and kill her.
Instantly turns on her.
Dude, that was so funny. She's like, this girl's the best.
Yep. And in the meantime, because, you know, Okarun and, you know, is seen as a victim by Ira, saying like, oh, under the control of Momo and blah, blah, blah. Ira has actually now fallen in love.
Yeah, she developed feelings for Okarun. I'm like, what the fuck?
Okay, great. And now Momo's actually jealous again.
Yeah.
It all devolves again. But then I think
he's a stud, man, dude. When he's got
he's just
that, like,
an awkward fellow,
the white hair with the long hair. Oh,
he
my
looks
God,
sick,
dude.
100%.
He looks so cool.
And then the next kind of big situation is back at school.
Yep.
And now back at school, there is Okarun who's saying, I'm not going to hang out with you at lunch, Momo, because I got shit to do.
He's like, I got to write a report or something.
I got to write a report, blah, and she's like, oh, okay, fine, whatever else. And then she finds him on top of Ira on the ground behind the school. Now, us as viewers know that he was just working out. He was just doing his Saitama training.
Dude was trying to get strong.
He's got his wrist weights on and
he was trying to train in secret, so he'd be like, ooh, you're pretty strong, eh?
But Ira loves him and tried fucking macking on him. And he was like, no. And then they fall, obviously anime style. And then they're fighting emotionally and everything like that. And they're in separate classes. And fucking Momo is playing with like a mantis shrimp because they have a mantis shrimp.
Yeah,
they're
doing science lab and they're studying mantis shrimps.
Yeah.
Like,
it's so all the fucking
animals. So random too.
And then, boom, locked in to the building, just like when they were at fucking Momo's house in the first few episodes, and obviously spirits and aliens again.
Yep. So Momo's by herself, and like the place is flooded with water.
Yep.
And she sees this kind of like serpent thing.
Yeah,
kind of looks like the Loch Ness monster. And this thing, of all things, can charge up and just shoot a giant laser and just like pierce through anything.
Yeah.
So that's Momo's side. But then on the other side, you see Okarun and Ira. They're like, what the hell's going on? Wait, it's just you two? It's just you each other? What are you guys doing here? Yeah. And then all of a sudden they get ambushed by guess who? The fucking Serpians. The banana. So they're like, we erected this special area where only people with high spiritual power can exist.
Yeah, why is Ira here?
Why is Ira here, of all things?
And we're like, I don't know.
Screw this. And then they use the little like geometry, like, and then they just
the awesome zone, isn't it?
Yeah, it's called the awesome zone. So they like intensify the gravity.
Yeah.
So like
nothing can escape the awesome
zone. Nothing can stop the awesome zone.
It's so Adventure Time coded. It's so fucking crazy.
And then through that, they're like, we're gonna extract your banana.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, but only 2 of us need to pin you down. The third will not use the awesome zone so that they can harvest your banana. And then fucking there's this guy who just reminds me of Hajime no Ippo, who's just boxing them and like sends out shockwaves like with his fist.
Yeah, it's basically this boxer guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's basically just like punching.
And I think he's meant to be a frog, like he's a kappa.
Yeah, kappa basically.
Yeah. And then as they're about to harvest Okarun's banana, fucking Ira turns into acrobatic Silky.
Yeah, because acrobatic Silky's aura went into Ira, she received her spiritual power. So now she can transform, and she looks fucking.
She looks sick as well.
She looks cool too. I'm like, God damn, these guys look so cool. Yeah. That's why she's in the zone.
Yeah.
That's why she's allowed to like enter the zone, and she basically just starts like the coolest action. One of the coolest action scenes. She's taking on the Kappa. She's taking on the aliens. But then, like, you know, she gets overpowered, just overwhelmed by, because, you know,
multiple numbers and stuff.
4-on-1, basically. And now her and Okarun are now in the awesome zone.
Together. Yeah. No. And then at that point, Momo has silently slipped away from Nessie. We'll just say Nessie, the
Nessie,
monster. And disrupts the awesome zone with her psychic powers. And basically gets Okarun to change. And it was like, what the fuck is acrobatic Silky doing?
Yeah,
here?
like, what the fuck?
And then it's like, oh, that's Ira. And she also now says, like, Oka-sama or something?
Okarun-sama?
Tanaka?
Ken-sama or no, Takakura-sama?
Yeah, Takakura-sama, because she, like, is in love with fucking
dude,
Okarun.
like, when they're in their curse forms, they develop, like, a whole different demeanor. It's so funny.
And then through that, they say, oh, well, we can't fight all these people together. This guy who's punching isn't doing enough. He's not pulling his weight. He's not the mercenary we paid for.
Yeah.
So then they're like, also, we hired Nessie to fucking stop stop Momo. Like, Nessie's not pulling their weight either. So then the Serpians
or
whatever, they're just like, merge. And they just merged the fucking Loch Ness Monster with this punching guy. So now he's like got the ability to like laser beam and punch shockwaves through the water.
It's like it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense.
No.
And like the fight scene between them was so cool. The trio are fighting.
Yeah.
And basically Okarun and Ira are like tango dancing and fighting at the same time.
And the ceiling is water and
the whole basic area is all water. And keep in mind, when they were trying to extract Okarun's banana, they stripped him. He's completely naked. He's completely naked this whole time.
And he's like, oh, let's fight in the water. And he tries to swim. And then he comes up, gasping for air. Like 5 seconds later, he's like, I forgot, I can't swim. What the fuck? So now, instead, what they've done is he's completely naked. And Momo is riding on top of him.
Yeah.
Again, he's face down, and she's riding.
She's using him as like a paddleboard, basically,
and is using her spirit hands to like propel him through the water.
Yep.
To fight now this Loch Ness Monster punching machine.
This Loch Ness Monster alien / praying mantis.
Mantis shrimp.
Yeah. Mantis shrimp. So it's like, what is going on?
It's the craziest shit, and I think. Basically, none of it's colored. I think all of it right now is in like a gray or a green scale color because they're in like the alien zone.
All in all, it's so cool.
It's very cool.
It's just so awesome.
And the way they defeat it and the way they go about it is because Momo was obviously listening in science class. She knows that mantis shrimp can punch full power underwater, but if they were to punch with the lack of resistance in the air, they would destroy themselves. So in the meantime, when they kind of lock down the hyper beam move with acrobatic Silky's hair because they find out it's charged water that it absorbs, so they like charge around its neck. And then as it's about to charge these like full power punches to kill them, Momo like splits the Red
uses
Sea
her magic power, just splits the water
so that no longer there's the resistance of the water, and then they go and punch and just implodes. It just fucking explodes itself.
Implodes, yeah. And then Okarun can do his little like
full
throttle like diving attack move and just destroy the thing.
Yep.
You know, like words can't do it justice. You have to see it because it's just amazing.
Yeah, it is the weirdest but also most awesome trajectory of events that you could have had in that moment.
I'm like, how are they gonna beat this thing? I'm like, it all makes sense.
You're like, I never would have seen that coming, but man, I should have seen that.
I'm like, oh god, like everything, it's just so smart, so good. And then basically once they defeat the thing, they defeat the aliens, so they're now no longer in that weird dimension area. So Okarin's naked.
Yeah.
And he has like a Momo in his hands, in his arms.
Who's in her bra and panties.
Bra and panties, because like their clothes were like, it's all underwater, so they would have been dragging anything. So they were just in the hallway. Everyone's like, why are they naked in the hallway?
And Ira's also naked.
And so they all run out together. They're like, oh crap, we got dip and everything.
Yeah, so they had some rumors about them, and Ira was like, no, I actually don't talk shit about them. It's fine. So you kind of see a turnaround in Ira's opinion and like mentality as well, where she's more
she doesn't
friendly.
She's more friendly. She doesn't treat them as like enemies anymore.
So she stopped the rumors about them, which is nice and everything. And then she's still in love with Okarun. And in the meantime, they kind of go back for dinner
at the shrine, and they're eating sushi.
Eating fucking sushi again.
I love that gag.
Yeah, the connection is very
so funny.
And while they're eating sushi, the door rings, and it's not the spirit doorbell, which is great. It's a regular doorbell. And it turns out to be Momo's old family childhood friend.
And her first love.
Which is now, he is now staying with Momo. So obviously, Okarun, very jealous. He's tall, he's handsome, he's funny.
He's handsome, man.
He's also open about his feelings. He's saying like, oh, you're so cute, Momo, like all these things, blah, blah. But Momo seems to hate him.
In the beginning, you're like, oh man, this guy's like prim properly. He's really good. And then he opens up his mouth. And you're like, what the fuck, man?
He's a bit of a weirdo.
He's just constantly making jokes and everything. He's hilarious.
But he gets along with everybody, so it's nice. He's not that awkward situation. And you get the idea that like Momo doesn't like him very much because he's always cracking jokes and she's just like annoyed by it.
Yeah.
But then over time, over the next episode or so of time spent with them and Okarun and Ira and stuff like that, he starts growing on her again. And then it seems like Okarun's very, very jealous, obviously, and he starts trying to put in work as well. But then I don't think that like Momo notices it and all these things.
Yeah, you see,
it's the back and forth.
You see the jealousy from his point of view, and it like monologues his feelings, and like it all makes sense too. Like
100%.
We've all been there.
And I think from his point of view, it was the hardest because at a certain point he was talking about like all the occult stuff, like aliens and ghosts and blah blah blah, and the childhood friend was like, "That's so cool. You're so smart. You know everything. Can we be friends?" And he's like, fuck, dude, like I can't even hate this guy.
Yeah, like this guy's so cool. Like why does he have to be so nice? And then there's a weird kind of like side plot that happens where there's a running mannequin from the biology. I'm like,
that they think is the holder of his other testicle.
Yeah, because like when Okarin's working out, he gets chased by this mannequin that's just running, but it's in biology, so like half of it is showing his like skull, half it shows his intestine, but he's just running. Right. And as he jumps over Okarin, you can see like a shining glimmer. So they're like, shit, he has the other golden ball.
Yeah.
And so then out pops another chase scene with a cool ass musical number, and it's Okarin, Momo, and their friend Jin. They're all chasing after this running like inanimate mannequin.
Yep.
And they're using their psychic powers.
He's gone full throttle.
Yeah. And like Jin's like, the fuck is going on?
It's like, holy shit. And then it turns out the mannequin's running to the dump because the dump contains his love. Yeah. Who is another anatomical like skeleton, but only torso up, so it can't move. And she's like, no, don't follow me to the dump. Like, you still have use. Go. I'm just an old thing. And he's like, no, fuck the age difference.
Dude,
like,
it's crazy because like it's so romantic and everything. I'm like, these are just two mannequins. I'm like, but this is so beautiful. It all makes sense.
And it turns out the golden shine that they saw was just a Christmas ornament, not his testicle. So we're still one testicle down.
Yeah, and that was like a weird side story, but like I'm
filler.
I'm glad that they had it. It was like like the chase scene for the mannequin was also well done. Like, every like sequence is so beautiful.
Yeah, it was very nice. And then at the end of that, they finally kind of reveal as to like why the childhood friend showed up in the first
why
place.
Jean is there.
Jean, yeah. And Jean basically is being haunted. They moved away. Obviously, that's when Momo and Jean stopped being friends, and Jean moved away with his parents to a hot spring town, and he basically saw a spirit or like this thing that's haunting him in their house.
That thing looks ominous too.
Yeah.
That thing looks scary.
And Jean's parents didn't see it, obviously. But as soon as he saw it, he's like, I can't sleep. Like, it keeps me awake at night. And as soon as that was happening, Jean's parents became unwell. They got really sick and got put in the hospital.
Hospitalized. So like that's why he's staying with them.
And they thought, he thought it was like mold or like something to do with the house. So he got every inspector in. Nothing was wrong. And then somebody said, well, like, get a spirit medium. And then he got, I think, six of the top like country spirit mediums and whatever else. 4 of them like committed suicide or like went crazy. And then the other 2 just like quit the job. Yeah. And they said the only last person you could try would be Momo's grandmother. Yeah. But now we figured out that this house is outside of the reach of like Momo's grandmother's powers because she draws powers from the region that she's in.
So she's like, screw it.
She's like, Momo, you go do it.
Yep. Not my deal now.
Momo, go do it. So now we're on to the final episode, and they say, okay, yeah, it's time to go to Jean's house in this hot spring town. And as they get there, it like all the village people are
freaky,
fucking freaky, and they're just like creepy as shit, and they
just stare at you,
stare and smile
with a smile at you. Yeah, it's so weird.
And they get up to the house, which is at the top of the hill, and Momo's there with the 2 guys, and Momo's like, no,
I don't sense anything wrong. Yeah, it's all good. Oh, it's all good. I'm gonna check out the hot spring.
Yeah, peace. And then you find out that she actually left because she was like, oh, I want to give those guys some time to be friends, because she's looking out for Okaru and being like, hey, like
he has no friends.
He has no male friends. Yeah, this would be nice for him to be friends. But they both felt that she was bailing on them. And then they have like their bro heart to heart where it's like, hey, you got a thing for Momo? It's like, yeah, you got a thing for Momo? Yeah. And then
like, hey, we both love Momo.
Hey, we can be friends, but we're still going to like compete for Momo's heart. Yeah. And in the meantime, Momo goes to the hot spring because we're in a hot spring town, which makes sense. And then like, it's just weird. Yeah. It's just fucking weird.
It's kind of like a repeat of the first episode where like it's very sexualized. I'm like, doesn't really need to do that.
It doesn't need that.
But it's basically she's in the mixed bath by accident, or
she's in the open air co-ed bath.
Yeah, so the 3 old guys
that we saw in the village.
Yeah, and then they're basically in the hot spring with her, and she's like, "Oh crap, the heat's getting to me," and they're like, "Be afraid of crocodiles," and then the guys are like on the water. You see their eyes, and they're like, they're just approaching her,
and it's we don't need to get further into it, but it's just weird. You didn't need to do it. Like you could have had it as she was leaving the hot spring.
They basically pin her down in the water, and then that's cuts. Like
cuts, boom, episode 12, done.
No, wait, not yet. We see Okarin and Jin's side.
Yeah.
Before the episode is done, they were kind of like, having like roughhousing outside the house because they're like, I like Momo. Yeah. No, I like Momo.
They were playing soccer, and then
Okarin's like, hey, what's that? Hey, look at the house, and you see the house, and there's this just giant other building.
It's like a garage attached.
Attached to the house. They're like, that's never been walls. There. Like, it's like, what the hell? That's never been there. So they're like, we should check this out. Yeah. So they go into the house. They're like, what the heck? So they kind of like break open a wall.
Yeah, they tap the wall and they're like, oh, it is hollow. Like, weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they kind of break it open, and then it's just a bunch of like sealed talismans leading into like, what's like an empty room or like a hole or something.
Just a big room, I think.
Yeah, and then it's actually creepy. Like I got goosebumps looking at it. Yeah. And then done.
Boom, episode 12 done. And I was like I said, like I saw one season, I heard good things, and I was like, okay, we're gonna have some form of a conclusion, like actually some form.
Nope,
zero fucking conclusion. Zero.
The anime just ends there. It's not even like a to be continued. Like, hey, we'll see you in season 2. Stops. Okay, well, that's that.
That's that, I guess.
I'm like, that's a fucking ballsy way to end an anime season.
But part of the reason that we are talking about this is because I think in June, season 2 is having a special movie release.
Woo!
which will be the first 3 episodes of season 2 condensed into a movie. And then from there, I think it's going to release, obviously, normally probably the next 12 episodes or whatever it is to be the season 2. I don't know if they're going further than that. I don't know if they've been greenlit for it. Or
dude, I actually want to go to the movie
but
theaters.
I want to go to the theaters to see it.
We're definitely seeing it because, like, our main cast, you know, Momo has powers, Okarina has powers, Ira has powers. Gene's going to get powers from this guy. And I think he's going to be OP as well because, like, this thing seems OP. Yeah. So he's going to get powers and it's going to be fucking cool. I want to see, like, what the story has in store for us.
But we also haven't seen Ira the last 2 episodes or so.
Yeah, like, she's not needed. I mean, she's not needed, man.
Yeah, but, like, maybe Gene becomes that. Maybe Gene, you know, we no longer see Gene. Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But, again, we're going to check in and we're going to watch it in June, hopefully in theaters. Yeah. And if not, we'll watch the season. And then we'll get another video out on it.
Yeah, overall, like, dude, the anime is so good. I love all the characters.
Yeah, it's the perfect time to get into it because it's coming out. And if you're just into a fun little story that you don't want to, like, think too much about, and it's, I don't know, you're into, like, weird, crazy shit happening. Yeah,
it's not everyone's cup of tea, but if you like it, you're going to love it. Yeah. That's the best way I could describe it.
I would say it's probably polarizing. You love it or you are, like, really don't get it.
Yeah.
So I would suggest it. I'd probably say season 1 for me. Let's see our ratings at the same time. Okay, you ready? Out of 10. You can go decimal points if you want. Just season 1 alone. Don't think
just season 1 alone?
Don't think of a continuation. Just season 1 alone. Okay, you ready? 3, 2, 1.
9.2. Whoa, we got the 0.2.
Okay, we got 0.2. You're a lot higher than me.
Yeah, dude. You get 7.2?
Because we're looking at it alone, don't like the ending.
Ah, dude.
I understand that there's a season 2 and I get that, but I wish they would have given me at least some conclusion. Because if I watched it and I didn't know season 2 was coming out, because at the time, I don't know if they said season 2 was already greenlit, I would have been like, dude, like, are you fucking kidding me?
Fair enough.
So that's why I'm lower.
I see. Is it just purely based off the ending that you put, like, you minus 2.8?
I think there's a couple weird scenes that don't need to be in there per se.
Yeah.
For
me personally, I thought the music was great. We didn't even talk about the opening. Creepy Nuts.
Creepy Nuts is great.
God damn, like, bangers again. Yeah. Good job on them. I thought action sequences were great. Animation overall at all times was great. Characters, I love their interactions. Like, even, like, the uncomfortable moments, like, you know, like their misunderstandings, dealt with right away. So I was like, okay, that's awesome. Like, that's really smart. Only thing was that the questionable sexualization
the weird scenes. I
was like, didn't need to be there. No. Come on. That's why I docked points. Other than that, like, I thought it was, like, great anime. I loved it. Like, I, like, rewatched it too recently.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm like, fuck, I can't wait for season 2.
I think it was really good. Like I said, I think there's just a few things that if it's standalone, I would dock more points.
Yeah.
I think when season 2 comes out and it's like an overarching story, I will rate it higher for sure.
Hopefully they don't drop the ball. Yeah. But I have super high hopes for it.
All right. So we'll check back with you guys when all that is said and done. But if you haven't watched it yet, go check out DanDaDan. It's on Netflix and obviously Crunchyroll and other such things. And let us know down below what you guys think and if it should be rated higher or lower. And
if you've never watched it and you watch this, hopefully we didn't spoil anything for you.
Yeah, hopefully we didn't do an entire in-depth fucking
season. To be honest, like, even though we talked about it, our words don't do it justice. You have to you have to watch it.
You'll never see it coming. So go check it out. Until next time, hopefully you have a fantastic day. And we will catch you on the next episode of Bro Spark.
Peace. Peace, guys.